Okay, today we're going to be working on something similar than we did last week. So here's my first problem we're going to go over. Now it says 9x minus 3 is less than 5x plus 13. On this number line you have to graph all the possibilities for x. Now we got a first new step in here. Well, it's not a new step, you've seen it before, but we have opposite side x's. So when we have opposite side x's, again, that's like an equals right there. We treat that similar to an equals, and these 9x and 5x are on the opposite sides of this symbol right there. It's a less than symbol. So if I have opposite side x's, this x that's over here, I'm going to put a plus in front of it if there's not a sign. If there's a negative, we call it a minus, okay? So I get rid of the plus x with a minus 5x. Now the question is, what happens to that sign? Now minus and plus, the signs leave the sign. Okay. So I have minus 5x, I have minus 5x. So that's going to be 4x minus 3. Leave the sign, and then you have positive 13. Don't put a plus in front of your 13. If it's a plus, just put 13. Now, if it's a minus, you put a negative in front. That sign in front of it is a negative. Okay. Then I make that kind of line, and I highlight where I have multiplication, and then I want to circle that. So now I have to get rid of the minus 3 with a plus 3. So we'll plus 3. Now, again, when you minus or plus, whatever one you're doing, you leave the sign. Okay. So a plus 3 and a plus 3. So we have 4 times x, and then 13 plus 3 is 16. And now the last step is that I'm going to divide by 4. Now the dividing the sign maybe will switch, but I'm dividing by a positive 4, so we will leave the sign when we do that. Okay, if that's a negative, that's your negative number you're dividing by, you switch the sign. So I divide by 4, and x, leave the sign, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, so on this number line I put 4. Now it's a positive if it doesn't have a sign. So circle, and at the end it opens, the sign opens to the 4. So when it opens to the number, that means it goes this way. X, line, line, line. So I go find plus 4 on my positive 4 on my number line, and we're going 3 units this way. So positive 3, positive 2, positive 1. So x can be all those numbers. Okay, next one. Negative 10x plus 6 is less than negative 12x plus 12. That's nothing in front of the 12. Okay, it's just a scribble mark. So we have opposite side x's. Okay, so when I have opposite side x's, I take the x over there, and that's I think of that, okay, that's a minus 12x. So we're going to plus 12x, and when we plus 12x, we leave the sign. Okay, you always leave the sign on plus or minus. Whichever one, doesn't matter, you're leaving the sign. Then we go plus 12x to the negative 10x. So first I need to calculate negative 10 plus 12, and that's 2x. So I put x down, and we added those, we got 2 plus the 6, and then remember we're leaving the sign. Then you have 12, positive 12, so just put 12. Now, so over here we have times 2 and plus 6, so I circle the times. So I get rid of the plus 6 with a minus 6. And when we do that, again, whether you're plussing or minuses, you leave the sign. Then we need to have a 2, so we need to divide by 2 to get rid of the times 2. Now, we're dividing by a positive again, okay? So if we're dividing by a positive, we want to leave the sign. Okay, so minus 6, so that's 2 times x, and 12 minus 6 is 6, so I leave the sign when I do that. Then when I divide by 2, I'm going to leave the sign, because I divide by 2 gets rid of the times 2, and we're leaving the sign. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I put 3 with a positive, and it opens to the 3, so it opens to the number, okay? So again, opening to the number takes the x graph this way, tick, tick, tick. So I've got positive 3, so it'll be positive 2, positive 1, 0. Now I'm going to flip over. We have 2x minus 6 is greater than 5x plus 12. Okay. Opposite side x is, look at the x over there, it would be a plus 5x. So we get rid of that with a minus 5x. Again, minus or plus, we leave the sign. So I take 2 minus 5, and we got negative 3. So it's going to be negative x with negative 3, and then minus 6. Leave the sign. It says we're doing leaving the sign. And then we have plus 12, so that's 12. Now over here, the x has two numbers, so that's two operations, a times and a minus. So I highlight the times. So we get rid of the minus 6 with a plus 6. Again, minus plus, it doesn't matter what, you leave the sign. Then I divide, but now I'm dividing by a negative number, so that one I will switch the sign for the first time today. Okay? Because on the first two we were dividing by a positive number, now it's by a negative. So, plus 6, plus 6. You're leaving the sign when you plus 6. So we have negative 3 dot x times x, and then 12 plus 6 is 18. Then I divide by negative 3, and when I do that operation I need to switch the sign because I'm dividing, but it's by a negative. Then 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. So negative 6, it opens to the negative 6, okay? So that would be this way. So far I'm getting a lot going that way. Okay, so x, then on negative 6, you're at negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. Okay, next one. 7x plus 4 is greater than 3x plus 2. Opposite side x's, so you take the x, or it'd be a plus if we don't have a sign. So I get rid of it by minus 3x. Okay, minus and plus, you always leave the sign the way it is. So 7 minus 3 is 4x plus the 4, and then the symbol, and then 12. Okay, now x is on this side with two operations, a times 4 and a plus 4. So we get rid of the plus 4 with a minus 4. And remember, minus or plus doesn't matter which one, you're leaving the sign. Well, it matters which one you do in the problem, but as far as the sign, you leave it, okay? Now I go minus 4, so I have 4 times x. 12 minus 4 is 8. Then we divide by 4. Now 4 is positive, so we will leave the sign when we divide on this problem. Remember, the divide is when the sign could change, okay? Maybe switch, but not if we're dividing by a positive. So you got x, 8 divided by 4 is 2. So you have 2, positive 2. It opens to the x, okay? So this time, finally, we get one that opens to the x, so it goes this way. So we have positive 2, positive 3, 4, 5.